Everybody talk about Harden. Man, Russ ain't did shit. Russ ain't
Oh
never did
no,
nothing. Has Russ been out the
oh
first
no,
round?
he no, not since KD left.
Bro, that nigga lost to rookie Donovan
I
Mitchell, bro. He lost to rookie Donovan Mitchell, Chris. What the hell?
Yeah, he ain't Russ ain't been out the first round since he had KD.
He lost to rookie Donovan Mitchell. He had Paul George and Melo. And you can say what you want about Melo, but Melo had like 2 or 3 more good years after that.
Oh no, I ain't know. Melo was still had some basketball left in him at that time. I ain't gonna act like that was Melo later on after they made him wait years after he left the Thunder before they put him on another team.
Donovan Mitchell became a star for kicking Westbrook ass. First year in the league, bro. Didn't nobody know who Donovan Mitchell was, Chris? I knew him at Louisville, but even when I watched him at Louisville, I thought he was just decent. This dude came to the NBA, beat Westbrook and Paul George. And people forget Paul George was top 10 in MVP that year.
Yeah.
You remember he was balling and OKC, he was all NBA. This nigga lost
Oh
to
yeah, no,
Donovan
no, no. I
Mitchell,
ain't.
Rudy Gobert. And Russell
I ain't
Westbrook was
knocking.
Mr. Triple Double, Mr. Man, I can't stand that, bro. So let's get into it, man. So KD has been traded to the Suns, blockbuster trade. Do you know the exact details of the trade? Because if you don't, I got it pulled up because it was like a 4-way trade.
Um, I don't have it right in front of me, but I can pull it up real
I
quick. It
pull
ain't
it
no
up for you. I got
thing,
it right here.
just so I can kind of read along with it, so I can completely understand it. Because when I mean, it was so much that went on in that trade.
You see it?
Oh,
The full trade
you got it.
details.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
The Suns received Kevin Durant and CJ Warren. The Nets got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Juan Pablo Valette. I don't know who the fuck that is. A 2023 first, a 25 first, a 27 first, a 28 pick swap, a 28 second round pick swap from Milwaukee, a 29 first, a 29 second round pick from Milwaukee. Bucks get Drake, Jay Crowder. That's an underrated pickup. The Pacers get George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Ward. Oh shit.
Hold on. So when I talked about Drake Crowder, you dogged him, but now it's an underrated pickup.
In the right situation. Bucks are already contenders. You adding just another dude you can throw on people to a contender.
Yeah, as for his defense, right?
Yeah. Jay
Yeah,
Crowder,
I said add on to defense. Like I didn't make him like, but you remember we was talking about the Mavericks a few episodes ago, and I brought him up, and I was just like, if you want to add somebody out there in free agency, I feel like Jay Crowder could be that dude because he does play defense and can
to
occasionally
what
make a
team?
three.
To what team
Huh?
did you add him on? What team
I
was
think
you on?
we was talking about Dallas.
That not doing nothing for Dallas. Dallas not in the same situation as the Bucks. The Bucks
Like
is
it
like
makes more sense. It makes more sense because he's pretty much gonna be playing the same role that PJ Tucker was playing when they went to the championship that first time.
exactly. He would probably be just like Dorian Finney-Smith was having to do way more than he should have if he goes to Dallas. Because now you the primary defender, and we want you to be the third, fourth option on offense.
So pull that up again and show me who because they said who did the next get again? They got they got Malik Bridges and who else?
The who? The
Who did the
Nets,
Nets get? Mikael
Mikal Bridges,
Bridges,
Cam
Cam
Johnson,
Johnson,
and then they got one, two, three,
Juan, and then the
four.
Suns got KD and TJ Warren, correct?
Yeah, they got five
And
first round
who
picks.
else did the Patriots get?
George Hill, Ibaka, and Ward.
Jonathan who?
Jordan
Oh,
Ward,
Jordan. Oh, okay.
Serge
Wow,
Ibaka.
that five first round picks. God damn.
See what I'm saying?
One, two, three, four.
And then they got two players that they can trade and get more picks for. Then they got Dinwiddie. They got Finney Smith over there. They got a lot of stuff, bro. But I really wanted to
Yeah,
talk about.
so they got all them first round. So they got pretty much all of their first rounders from Phoenix, and Milwaukee tossed them 2 second rounders for Jay Crowder. And okay, okay.
Okay, now let's transition into what do you think the Suns can do? Do you think they are contender now?
Man, to me, it ain't even so much as what they can do. It's championship or bust at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
Always.
Devin Booker has been paid. Chris Paul has been paid. KD, you got him for 3 more years. His contract, he's been paid. So you pretty much, and DeAndre Ayton, he has been paid. You have four top dudes at their position. Four top dudes at their position. You got Chris Paul, who people see as one of arguably the greatest point guards that some people have ever seen. You got KD, you got Devin Booker, who's a bucket, and you got DeAndre Ayton. Even with all the shit that was going on, is still a top center in the league. So it's definitely championship or bust. Now, of course, you may have to fill in some spots on defense, and TJ Warren ain't no slouch. TJ Warren can get streaky. So with all the moves that it's made, it's definitely championship or bust at this point. It's championship or bust. And I really do think it's gonna take a hit on not just KD, but Chris Paul too, if they don't get this shit done. Because Chris Paul is also another one that's not gonna be excused for fault for this. Because it's not like Chris Paul, with the exception of maybe OKC, Chris Paul has always been surrounded by talent.
Hmm.
He has always been surrounded by talent. I mean, New Orleans, he had pieces around him. He did make the playoffs. He had shit. We all know the Clippers. They had a nickname for him. The Clippers, the Rockets. He's had talent, and he still hasn't been able to get it done. So I don't want to put all of it on KD, even though he is the center piece to all of this. But yeah, they lose this shit this year, they're gonna be in some trouble. They gonna be in some trouble.
I ain't gonna hold you. This shit is on. That shit is on Chris Paul right now. I mean, not on Chris Paul. It's on Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. The thing with Chris Paul, the thing with Chris Paul is he's old. He's past his prime. When they already went to the finals, that was on him. But the fact that the fact that KD coming over, he with Devin Booker. Now people are looking at their duo to be better than.
Yeah, that duo is going to be a lot better because you have two efficient scorers, and really, if you all of their damage really can be done right in the mid range. They don't have to kill you nowhere else if they don't want to. Chris Paul has a elite mid range game. Devin Booker has an elite mid range game. We know what KD is like, and on top of that, Devin Booker's gotten better at the three. KD can shoot it from anywhere. It's just TJ, like it's too many pieces there, bro. I mean, I know they got to fill out some of them pieces on the bench that they had to get rid of to make this shit happen. But we don't talk. I mean, I understand that a bench is a part of it, but when they hoist that trophy up, we ain't talking about them. We talking about them people that started when that ball gets thrown up in the air, tip off. So
Yeah, yeah, my bad. My nephews and she was at the door. But what I was saying was it's on Kevin Durant first, Devin Booker second. Kevin Durant has been a perennial top five player. Devin Booker has just reached to top 10 status this year. So when you look at duos, they got just as much pressure as Kawhi and PG had. They got just as much pressure as Tatum and Brown have. He's got as much pressure as Zion and Ingram. When you look at duos across the league, this mother jumped to number one duo, in my opinion, in terms of individuals. Because who got a better individual duo than Kevin Durant and Devin Booker? Because I
yeah,
feel like you can make an argument Devin Booker and Tatum is on the same level. Tatum is being more healthy this year, so you can
uh huh,
probably say Tatum is better. But last year, we was damn near looking at Devin Booker like he was better than Tatum. We know KD's better than Tatum. Devin Booker's better than Jalen Brown. KD's better than Jalen Brown. And everybody look at the Celtics to have the best duo. So with this trade, the best duo, in my opinion, is the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. The question with the Suns is go defense, Aiden, and Chris Paul, and depth on that bench. TJ Warren, he just coming back, so I don't know if he can be the dude coming off the bench to go get you buckets and be
He's
consistent.
been kind of off right now because he had one game where he was like going stupid. I can't remember who they was playing, but he kind of like inconsistent right now. Like I said, I feel like these trades happen at the right time. Like you got the All-Star break coming, and which shit with KD still ain't even on the floor yet, so we don't even know what this shit look like yet. We ain't gonna see it until after the All-Star game. So it's grind mode. I get what you're saying about it being on Devin Booker. I just kind of see it more as I still kind of see it more as a Chris Paul and a KD thing because they've been doing this shit way too long. I understand that Devin Booker just made it, but like, as you just said, he just entered that top 10 thing, so he's still young and new to the thing. Of course, he needs to make that next step. But if you asking me, I'm probably gonna be going a lot harder on Chris Paul and KD than I would say Devin Booker and KD because Chris
What?
Paul has
Chris Paul's
only reason.
like 10 points. Like 13 points. Chris Paul getting like 13 points this year. He's cooked. This ain't no
but Chris Paul at the same time, Chris Paul is gonna be the one facilitating bringing that ball up the court. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't even so much of just I'm just looking at Chris Paul.
I gotta keep it real with you.
I'm looking at Chris Paul as a whole.
No.
I feel you, but you know what? He's definitely Mike Conley. But guess what? He ain't getting paid Mike Conley money. Chris Paul is getting paid. I need you to deliver.
Say, man,
I need you to deliver.
How you feel about Kyle Lowry then? I feel like all them niggas in the same boat. Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley, Chris Paul.
I feel like Kyle Lowry was kind of overhyped when they made that move in the first place, in my personal opinion. I wouldn't like after Kawhi left and like that first or second, like I wasn't that high on him even before he got traded. I understood what they thought that he could do, that he was going to be the Kyle Lowry that they knew and loved, but I really wasn't going for it. I haven't been big on Kyle Lowry since that championship, bro. If you ask my personal opinion about it.
But I'm saying, I really want to see these motherfuckers stats because, bro, Kyle Lowry, CP3, and Mike Conley, them dudes is cooked. You can make an argument that Mike Conley playing better than both of them.
Right. Chris Paul is looking horrible this year. I don't
give you their stats real quick. Kyle Lowry, 12, 5, and 4. Chris Paul, because that's why I'm just trying to tell you what tier I think Chris Paul is at this point. Chris Paul, 14, 9, and 4. That's still pretty good, but it's just like that's not Chris Paul like we know him. Mike Conley is at 11, 8, and 3. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what Chris Paul is now. When you think about Chris Paul, you think about one of the greatest point guards of all time. But right now, his current production is right there with Kyle Lowry and Mike Conley.
Yeah, right now, definitely, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel you. But when you make a trade like this, he gonna have to step it up. You can't make a trade like this and still be giving me that bullshit you've been giving me. Like, I understand you got another great scorer, but I'm going to still need you to contribute.
Yeah.
Because we know if anything, because shit, before sometimes they were trying to double CP just coming up the floor just to like Uh-oh, that was my bad, probably. We good?
Oh yeah, I hear you now. What you saying?
Okay, yeah. But no, I was saying, what the fuck I was saying?
Because we was talking about Chris Paul, and I was just trying to tell you his level of play versus his name. He's playing on.
It's definitely not there. It's not. It ain't there no more. No, it's not. It's not. But it's just one of those.
Do you think this is a super team? This is my question to you. Do you think the Suns are a super team?
if Chris Paul was Chris Paul, I would definitely put them up there. But even with him not being there, I think they could be considered a super team.
See, I've been looking at their roster. Aiton is like 18 and 12. Chris Paul's at 13, 14 points. But then Devin Booker and KD are real 25 and plus guys. But after that, it ain't no third dude averaging 20. Like you look at the Boston Celtics, it look just like they dudes. Because you got Tatum Brown, and then you got Brogdon and Smart, and they get like 13,
Wait, but
20.
they called. Well, yeah, but just like with Boston when they had them, they third dude wasn't averaging over 20.
Which Boston team?
You talking about the Boston with KG, Ray, and
No, I'm
Paul
talking about
Pierce?
the Boston Celtics right now. I feel like it's a duo.
Oh,
It's a duo plus role players. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul has become a role player. DeAndre
yeah,
Ayton
but
is
I'm
a
not.
role.
I mean, you could call Aiden a role player, but he's still a top talent. I'm only saying a super team because all of those dudes. I guess if you want to exclude Chris Paul based on his production this year, I'll give you that. But
So,
Booker,
mhm.
KD, and Aiden are top dudes in their position. That's the only reason I'm considering a super team.
Bro. Bro, people gotta miss me with this Aiden shit, Chris.
But wait, so is he not a top player at his position though?
I
I mean, I'm
mean,
pretty sure there's some centers you'd put over him, but he's still a top player at his
bro,
position.
that's so fake for you to do that, bro. You know that center position
How?
weak as hell. You know the centers are weak. They're very top heavy. You got Jokic and Bede and Cat, and then you got like Gobert, Bam, and then but it's a steep drop off after those dudes.
He's still a
It's
top player though.
Sabonis is a top 5 center in the league. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Hold on,
man,
don't disrespect him like he ain't getting a double
I ain't
double.
gonna
We ain't finna
I
do
ain't
this.
saying it like my bad, but I ain't trying to mean it like that. But being a top center don't mean much to me if you're not top 3 center. Because once you start
I
getting
don't
five
completely.
and below, four
I don't
below,
agree with that, but
DeAndre, bro, what? How do you feel about DeAndre Ayton?
bro, like I'm not gonna ever be the one that's over here beating the table over DeAndre Ayton, but he does add scoring and he adds rim protection. That is something that a lot of teams don't have.
And what did he do in the playoffs? Did he score and did he protect the rim?
Bro, I understand what he did in the playoffs, but we
That is
talking
what's
about
gonna be
that. We
important.
talking, but we talking about that series. So we talking about that series where they all flamed out against Dallas, because we could all talk about them in the
I'm
playoffs.
talking about going back to the Buck series. I'm talking about going to the Western Conference Finals. I'm talking about it's a whole bunch of times we done seen Aiden. They were yelling at him on the court. They were calling him out. His
Bro,
own
it's
coach
one
was like,
thing, but
man,
the
I
thing
ain't even
about it is,
talking to you.
bro, it's one thing that we know he actually do it, but he got to actually have to will himself to do it. So I'm not gonna take his mental and just say that, oh, like that's clearly all mental and him just being a jackass, in my opinion. But
That
it's
is
not. But
worse. No, this is what I'm saying because you said you think they're a super team. I'm seeing a lot of shit online saying they're a super team. But how is this a super
okay,
team?
so
And the Boston
go ahead,
Celtics
go
and
ahead.
Milwaukee Bucks aren't super teams. What's the difference? I feel like their rosters are fully from top to bottom or better than the Suns. The Suns have two top 10 players. That is nice, but then it's a drop off to Chris Paul and Aiden. That's a drop off, bro. A super team, in my opinion, is like 3 bona fide all stars and then like a good 6 man. And it's just like, man, that they don't fit the criteria for my opinion of a super team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to say three bona fide all stars, that's cool. I mean, like I said, I'm just saying three top players at their position. So it's kind of, I mean, I see what you're saying though, but
Okay, because I'm just trying to get the definition of a super team. Because if we go do that, Memphis, they got 3 top 10 players at their positions. Ja is a top 10 point guard, top 5, top 3. Desmond Bain, a
uh-huh.
top 10 shooting guard. Jaren Jackson is a top 10 power forward, but that's not considered a super team. And they actually have one of the best benches in the league.
The only reason why I say don't know how to consider Memphis a super team, and people have been doing this to Memphis for years, like what you just said is true, but a lot of this shit got to do with names too. Just like how you said earlier, like we attach that we think Chris Paul's supposed to be good because he's a name, but if we actually look at him, he ain't been doing shit this year. If we take that logic and look at the Grizzlies, like how you just said, they do have three top 10 people in their positions, but people been saying it for years. Don't nobody look at them like that just because they're not no big name in the league. But if you had to ask me personally, I do think they are a super team that can beat anybody as long as they don't beat themselves. And they beat themselves they was beating themselves last year. In my
But a
personal opinion.
super team, come on now. A super team, we think of super teams, we think of KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. Like, you literally go say, if you try to match this to Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, because DeAndre Ayton is better than Chris Paul right now. That's the sad part of this super team. DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul do not fit into the suit. They are good players because DeAndre Ayton, he might be a top 10 center, but
Yeah.
can you name me 10 good centers?
Hey man, stop disrespecting my big man, man.
I just think that power forward position is where the good bigs are now at this point. The power forward position.
Yeah, the way that I can see that though. I can see that.
And
But all in all,
Chris Paul ain't a top 10 point guard no more, in my opinion. That's a tough
yes. Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's hard to put him up there right now the way he's been playing. I mean, I don't know if that injury really just fucked him up that bad to where he just took this dramatic drop off. But yeah, man, people be talking about LeBron age, but motherfuckers be forgetting that Chris Paul just as old.
I just feel like now that the expectations are championship or bust for the Suns, I feel like their roster isn't as good as people was thinking. Because I was thinking it was a super team too at first. Then I got to
Well,
looking at
it's
that
not
roster.
because they had to. Nah,
TJ Warren?
they had to give up so many pieces. So right now they're literally just finna be go picking motherfuckers up off the street or go get whatever free agents that got waived and released. You know, they talking about they might go get who got I think Will Barton just got let go. They talking about they might go get him. Who else?
Terrence Ross just got bought out by the Magic.
Right. So if you could get them two on a deal, you may have something there. I think Terrence Ross and Will Barton are some good bench players. Will Barton has definitely been there, done that before. He's played with Jokic. He knows how to, he knows how to lock down and lock in. Terrence Ross hasn't necessarily seen the success as of late, but he's been in the league. He knows how to play. I just think they just need to get some nice pieces, maybe a couple of veteran pieces, a couple young boys that can sit in that chair, play some defense. But they just got to fill that. They just got to fill out that roster. And like I said, it's kind of, but it's kind of hard. I know we all putting championship or bust on this team, but it's kind of hard to put that or bust on it when you realize even if Chris Paul retires tomorrow, you still got KD, Booker, and Ayton on that roster. And if you really just wanted to move Ayton for some pieces, if he just want to leave that bad, you still could do that in the offseason. Because I thought they was gonna move him kind of like everybody else did, at the beginning of the season when they went ahead and matched Indiana's offer sheet and kept him. Everybody's like, okay, well, they pretty much did this just not to lose him for nothing, but he's gone. But now we fuck around and see, okay, they done got KD, and he's not gonna be clogging up the lane. Don't none of the players really just need to drive the ball to get their shit. He's not gonna clog the lane. That's really kind of what's good about it. But if they got options, I think Phoenix is another team to where they may have gave up a lot to get KD, but at the same time, they still got an asset DeAndre Ayton to where if the shit don't, of course they don't make it to the promised land this year, they could get some first round picks for Ayton, get a couple players.
It's definitely championship or bust in my opinion. For like you said,
it's definitely championship or bust. But if they bust, they got time.
Yeah, but not really. KD and Chris Paul alone.
Chris Paul just needs to go. I don't know how many years he got left, but they need to go ahead and cut ties with Chris Paul or trade him to get assets because he was on the trading block this year too. He was on a trading block this year too.
Oh, Chris, I ain't lying.
Huh?
You ain't getting nothing for Chris Paul. Chris Paul is trade
Oh no,
value same as a
no. People
Kyle
was
Lowry.
Hey, I don't know exactly what people were offering, but they were picking up the phone for Chris Paul. And it's not necessarily like sometimes if you just want to get something from him, bro. Sometimes people just gotta go. Sometimes people just gotta go. If you give me a second round pick, okay, fine. Or you give me a player or whatever you want to do. Sometimes people just gotta go, man. I mean, Chris Paul has been an amazing player, but I just think it's about that time. It's about that time. At this point, your State Farm commercials are the most interesting thing I see about you on TV. You know, I get more interested in seeing Cliff Paul than Chris Paul. It's looking real nasty out there. It's looking very disgusting.
So I'm gonna ask you this question: how far can the Phoenix Suns go, and how realistic is that possibility?
I feel like as constructed right now, if you had to ask me, I feel like they definitely can make it to the second round. Now, once they get to the second round, if you ask me who I think is going to be there, I definitely think Denver's going to be in the second round. I definitely think Memphis is going to be in the second round. The Pelicans, I don't think so, just because I think they injuries just scare me. The injuries are the only reason why I can't trust them. That's the only reason why. Even that man child, I beat the table for every time I get on here. I ain't been able to talk about him in a while because he stay hurt. So if I had to say who they might have to see, I'd say they probably have to see Memphis. They might have to see Denver. Uh, I definitely give Dallas a chance to make it to the second round.
I was
So
gonna say,
you know, do you and fuck that. I ain't saying the Clippers. I'm standing on my shit. I don't trust them motherfuckers either. Them motherfuckers going home. But I'm sorry. I just don't trust the Clippers, bro. Sad thing about it, I've been out here in LA taking pictures of all these Kobe murals and stuff like that. I seen a Kawhi mural. I drove right past that motherfucker.
ah,
I
your hate
drove right
for
past
Kawhi.
that
Your
motherfucker.
hate for Kawhi is funny.
Huh?
I said your hate for Kawhi is funny. It's
I'm sorry,
understandable.
bro.
He don't
It's
play.
under. Huh?
He don't play. He sat out yesterday against Milwaukee.
See, he don't play, bro. It's the shit's just getting nasty. It's
And
getting
Paul George
nasty.
went 8 for 24. And then I turned it off. He probably finished worse than that.
Yeah, bro. See, it's looking nasty. Like this Clippers experiment is damn near over. Like sometimes it's just time. Blow it up. You can't have two
Oh,
motherfuckers. You can't have two niggas that's damn near always injury prone and then be having PG out there shooting inefficient and shit like that. Something like that shit's disgusting.
okay. Let's switch to the Lakers, and I got a few more minutes, and I'm gonna get off. But
That's cool.
okay, so the Lakers added D'Angelo Russell. They added Mo Bamba. They added. I'm still gonna include Rui Hachimura. He's still new. They
Yeah.
added. Who else they add? So you got D'Lo, Bamba, Hachimura. They added
Malik
somebody.
Beasley.
Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. They got rid of Patrick Beverly, Russell Westbrook, Thomas Bryant, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Damian Jones. They brought in a whole new supporting cast.
So I feel like a
These,
lot of people I feel like a lot of people was kind of hung up on Thomas Bryant. I think they were kind of wondering why they got rid of him. But I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, shit, we saw LeBron do the same thing in Cleveland. I
yeah,
mean, maybe he'll make it work again. I mean, at least get to the playoffs.
bro. This is my thing, Chris. I don't like LeBron. We all know that. But anytime you bring in five talented dudes and get rid of five sorry dudes, that is a win.
Oh
Those
no, it's
dudes
definitely a
that they got
win.
rid
But
of sucked. The dudes they bringing in are good. Malik Beasley, Vanderbilt, and D'Angelo Russell were on a 7 seed playoff team last year. Jared Vanderbilt is big, can rebound. Mo Bamba, block shots, and hit the three, can play with AD. Malik Beasley is one of the best catch and shoot players in the league. D'Angelo Russell is a dynamic offensive weapon. Anytime you can add to
Oh no,
LeBron,
I'm not saying no. They definitely won the trade. They won in every aspect. Like every move that there wasn't a move that they made that I was just like, oh, they fucked up. They actually made every correct move that they were supposed to make and was able to do it with only getting rid of one of those first round picks. So, hey, congratulations. That front office actually did a good move because they only claimed the fame was getting Anthony Davis over here. But since that, they haven't done shit because the Russ thing, nobody agreed with it. You got rid of so much. You got rid of all your young talent in the first place, getting AD. Then you just cleared the house to get Russell Westbrook, and then couldn't afford to play Alex Caruso, who was a key part of y'all team. Because after he left, it was like, okay, who's going to hold it down on defense? And Braun looked like, oh, y'all expect me to do it now. So they definitely won this trade. If you ask me, do I like if I had to pick somebody to be a sleeper, I probably had to pick either them or Sacramento. Not even not like a sleeper to win it, just a team to make some noise and maybe shock some people. But I mean, I definitely think that LeBron made some moves that gives him a chance to finally climb up into the playoffs, especially just because I do feel like AD is going to get hurt again before it's all said and done. And you've put talent around you to where you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. You have a lot of young talent around you mixed in with some vets that know how to play the game. So I definitely feel like they're going to be able to space the floor a lot more because they definitely got better at shooting. I don't feel like LeBron is going to have to handle the ball as much. I feel like D'Lo could definitely take some of the load off of him and actually facilitate. I feel like the decision making is going to be better because Russ sometimes just does shit that kind of raises everybody's eyebrows. So I do think they definitely got better. I just think it's going to take a little time because it's so many new pieces. It's so many new pieces. That's the only thing.
Chris, D'Lo, Vanderbilt, Beasley done played together already. Those literally
Yeah, I
three
know.
dudes bringing in, they done already played together, and they're gonna play together in the same lineups when they come to LA. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when they bring them to
Well,
LA,
yeah, but
they gonna
once
put
you
them
get it to
in
where
the
you can get them and Rui Hachimura and Mo Bamba all flowing, like I think like it's gonna be like, bro, it's the offense is gonna look a whole lot different, and the defense has definitely got a lot better in my opinion. I definitely feel like with that Bamba addition, and I do like Hachimura's effort on defense as far as what I've seen so far. He does put in the effort. I feel like they're gonna be a better defensive team. They're gonna be able to definitely spread the floor a lot more because we all know what LeBron's formula is. Get him shooters. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can have a talent like AD, but you have to have shooters around him. You need to have you can have another talent around him at whatever other position you want to have, but you have to have shooters. That has been his formula since Miami. It's been working for him ever since. I
In
don't know
Cleveland.
in
This, this
Cleveland.
this was the underrated thing about Cleveland. Why everybody just this is why I hated when everybody just said his team was trash in Cleveland. Bro, do you know how many
I'm not gonna.
40 plus 3-point shooters they had on that team? Then they had a dude in Mo Williams who was an all-star. He wasn't the greatest all-star. Ilgauskas could stretch the floor a little bit. That was a good team built around the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a trash team. They had dudes that was on an all defensive team. It's like LeBron, he
They
needs certain
only
dudes.
they only knock on that Cleveland team, which we were just talking about today. Just sometimes in the playoff games, it's just some of the dudes flame out. That was their only knock against them. Like clearly, I'm not gonna sit here and say they was trash because clearly y'all got to do something to get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, it was just LeBron and nobody else. I'd never say that about no player. Like your team definitely had to help you get there. But I think a lot of people just look at they underperformance in some of those playoff games where, I mean, I ain't trying to get too deep into it, but they're like, oh, well, wasn't nobody out there helping LeBron, all this yada 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 type shit. But I do feel like he's had better shooters around him since those Cleveland days. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he may
Not in
have had,
LA.
huh?
Not in LA.
No. I'm just saying
LA
better
has
with that first stint in
no.
Cleveland.
This really what I'm saying.
No, I'm
This
saying he's
best
had better
supporting cast
shooters
he's
since.
had.
I'm saying he's had better shooters since his first stint in Cleveland. That's what I'm saying.
But they ain't been in LA. That's what I'm saying.
No. Hell
I'm saying
no.
this LA
He.
team deserves the criticism that Cavaliers team got. You see what I'm saying? That Cavaliers
Oh
team was
no,
way better than the
bro.
goddamn team he playing with
Bro,
now. And
LeBron literally had shooters. Like he had a couple of shooters his first 2 years, and then he got rid of them all because that when he first got there, he had shooters with that young team. Then he trades all them to get AD. He wins the championship with AD, and then he blows all that up to get Russ and gets rid of pretty much what the little bit of shooting he had left. So, because people could talk about KCP all they want to, but KCP was a good 3-point shooter.
you had Kuzma,
You
KCP,
had Kuzma.
Caruso.
You had. I was just about to bring them all up. Like
Three of
he
the
he
best
had them,
role players in the league still.
bro. He had them. Like he just got rid of them. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like he didn't have them. He did this to himself because he wanted names. I'm never gonna be the one to sit there and say that LeBron did not do this to himself. I ain't that type. I ain't that type. He did this to himself, bro. He had a team. He was
It's
fourth. He was a fourth seed his first year before he got hurt. Like, but the way that LeBron was thinking, he's like, oh no, I don't want a team that can't get it done without me. I want them to keep going. It's like, no, bro, this team is built around you. So of course, if you go down, they're gonna struggle. Like, yeah, you may have some people step up because the opportunity is there. Like I said with Kuzma, every time a star player goes out, he goes the fuck off. Don't mean they're gonna win, but he can score. But that offense was tailored to you. You had a young team that you was teaching how to play the game and how to play it right, and you were a fourth seed before you got hurt, and you blew it all up for one player. Yes, it led to a championship, but look where you got to after that. You kept going with the trend. You kept going with it after you went to the playoffs again the next year, got knocked out the first round, and got rid of all these people because you wanted to get Russ. Let's we see how that worked out.
so can we agree this is best supporting cast he done had since the bubble?
Oh yeah, since the bubble, yeah. Since the bubble,
So
yeah, this is the best
what are
one.
your expectations for real? Your realistic expectations. What do you really think gonna happen? Not what could happen, what can happen. What do you think realistically is going to happen?
I think they can definitely get to a Western Conference Finals within the next 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't see it this year.
What
Shit
about this
no.
year? What about this year?
This year, I definitely think they're gonna make it to the playoffs. That matchup though, in the first round, that's good because they're definitely going to have to play a top four team, and that's what's gonna be scary. I mean, I don't never try to doubt LeBron. I feel like you've had him and you got the talent that he can figure out a way to get it done. But man, is sometimes when you think about those top four teams, it's shit.
Um, I
It's
think they go sneak into the play in, but I don't like you said they could
oh
even
well,
make it
yeah,
to the
that's
playoffs.
they're a playing team going to the playoffs. Yeah, that's what I mean.
But even when they make it to the playoffs, whatever team they get first go smack them because Lakers ain't even been good. They ain't been good in the last 4 minutes of none of these games. That's the biggest thing in the playoffs is your late game execution. The Lakers have never been good at it, and LeBron
And I
doesn't
feel
have.
like I feel like that D'Angelo Russell could be a big equation to that problem.
I feel that, but man, he was so stinky last year with Minnesota that I don't even give him that no more. See, no, he
Yeah.
really used to be one of them dudes, but I gotta see it with him again.
No, I feel that. I definitely understand. I feel that 100%.
But man, I gotta wrap this up, man. I gotta wash my clothes, get
That's
ready.
cool though. This is a nice little pop up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, did my bad ass nephews all at the door and shit. But
But shit, all right, gang. I'ma holler at you, fam.
all right, bro.
Y'all be
Hey,
easy.
Suns, Western Conference Finals, no doubt. I ain't gonna lie. But it's not a super team. But KD and Booker is the best duo in the NBA. Your final closing statement.
I think Boston might have something to say about that, but we'll see.
You think Tatum and Brown is better than KD and
The
Booker.
only reason why I would say that in the long run, Tatum and Brown will be better is because of availability. Them boys don't get hurt. And the only reason why Brown is hurt right now is because his own player bust him in the fucking face. So
Brown get hurt a lot too, though. Brown be getting hurt. Tatum don't get hurt.
Tatum don't get hurt. Yeah,
That's
Brown
the
he gets hurt.
thing.
You know, I mean,
Tatum is gonna keep it afloat regardless.
right, yeah. But KD, like I said, he's just at that point of the career where I kind of expect him to miss about 20 games every year because of injury. So that's probably gonna be the only thing that keeps him from that top spot. But even still, I think he went to the perfect team now to be able to hold it down whenever he get hurt. And I think that was the biggest thing. He needed to go somewhere where if and when he gets hurt, and I hate to put that on anybody, 'cause I don't want nobody to get hurt. But whenever he gets hurt, they're gonna be able to hold down the fort, keep it afloat, keep them at least a top 16. They ain't got to worry about no play in or no bullshit, and they can go ahead and rock out in the playoffs, man.
All right. Well, this has
So,
been a little pop up, man, with this Diddy No Ball, this white boy Chris, man. Till next time.
all right, my G.
All right.